Welcome to Franchise Marketing Radio, brought to you by SEO SAMBA. Comprehensive high-performing marketing solutions for mature and emerging franchise brands. To supercharge your franchise marketing, go to SEOSamba.com. That's SEOSAMBA.com.
Welcome to Franchise Marketing Radio. Stone Payton Lee Cantor here with you, broadcasting live on the Business RadioX network. Today's episode is brought to you in part by the Business RadioX Studio Partner Program, equipping franchisors to help franchisees dominate their local market. To learn more about serving your market and growing your business, go to mybrxstudio.com. Lee, this is going to be a fantastic show this morning. Please join me in welcoming to the broadcast with Runningboards Marketing, Mr. Calvin McNeely. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, Calvin, before we get too far into things, can you share a little bit about Runningboards Marketing? How are you serving folks?
Yeah. Well, Runningboards Marketing, we're really a simple business, and we just help successful businesses grow by getting their message out on the streets where the people are.
Now, how do you go about doing that?
Well, but I'd have to introduce you to Dave. Dave is a digital advertising vehicle that we have built. We build these ourselves with our own software and everything. And we've nicknamed Dave. We added an E when we say it, and Dave's got his own personality. But Dave is a truck with 3 screens on it, 3 independent screens. And anything we can do on a computer, a television, we can play videos, we can live stream from a drone, an event, a helicopter. We can do gaming systems on it, sound, PA system, pretty much limitless what we can do.
So now, tell me if I'm getting this right. So this vehicle is fairly large. Like, this isn't like a little pickup truck, right? It's larger than that.
Correct. It's a digital mobile billboard.
And then
drive around on the streets.
So so the service you're providing is you're putting visual messaging in front of crowds of people, whether they're just like if it's in a big city, it could be just going up and down the streets of a downtown, or it could be at a festival. It could be in lots of different locations, right? It flexes to wherever they need to be, I would imagine.
Correct. Dave can be anywhere. He just can't be everywhere at the same time.
Right. And then traffic's good for you, right? Like traffic's not a bad thing in your business, right?
Traffic's not a bad thing. And there's plenty of traffic around Atlanta.
That's right. So now you're in Atlanta today because you're doing a Discovery Day. Is that right?
Yeah, just a mobile Discovery Day, kind of bringing, instead of trying to get everyone to come to cold upstate New York this time of year, we thought we would take it out on the streets, go to the South. I kind of picked Atlanta because I've had success in Atlanta with past businesses. Mm-hmm. My past company still has an office at the airfield. World's busiest airport is our biggest client. That was Highlight Airfield Services, a company I started in '89 and sold my interest and retired a few years back.
And then you came up with the idea of Runningboards Marketing. And did you always see this as a franchise? Well,
it was kind of an accident I got into this. I've owned over 30 businesses worldwide, and I've lots of successes, a few failures in there. And kind of got into this by accident, but quickly realized I had something special and looked into franchising and found out over 4,000 franchises in this country. There's nothing like this. So we're the first to come up with this franchise model.
And then, so initially you were running it in New York, just your own kind of digital advertising vehicle business?
Yes, in a small town in upstate New York, Watertown, New York, which is pretty close to Canada.
Now, how did you know you had something?
Just the local response. Watertown's a population of about 25,000 people in a county of about 125,000 people. It's kind of rural. We run a little bit behind the rest of the state, I would say, or maybe being part of the country. And kind got the idea to do this business and said, I'm going to do it in my town. I want to bring something cool to my town, to Watertown, and help the businesses here. And we just had such success out of the gate with it. We knew we had something special.
Now, when you started it, since it's a digital sign, and it could kind of change the messaging, were your first advertisers yourself trying to get new clients? We didn't really want to. We thought, instead of an empty billboard or the truck saying, "Hey, call us, you could rent this," we quickly got some clients, keyed some people in quick. We over promoted them, but at least they were paying us. Mm-hmm.
I believe.
Good.
I believe anyone that buys a franchise, we can help them with the plan and the method we've come up with. I think they can have people advertising in the first week.
Is that before they even get the truck in their hands?
No, they'll need the truck to do that, and because the truck's the seller. You just got to show Dave, introduce Dave to people, and people will want to be on it. Not everybody, but we don't need everybody to be on it. But it's fun to show Dave, because whoever we're visiting, we will put their image on. We'll take something off their Facebook page or their website and show up with their image on the side of Dave, and that always brings a smile to people's faces. And
then when, say, a new franchisee has Dave and they're out in their market, is there a profile of a typical advertiser? Is it certain types of business works better with this?
There really isn't. I mean, think of all the people that advertise, whether it's a car dealer, a realtor, a dentist, a fitness business, a landscaper. Really endless possibilities, and then the community. It's a very community oriented business, and all the events we can do is just endless. We come up with new things all the time. We do a lot of parades, a lot of parties. We can bring a concert to somebody's backyard. We recently did a Jimmy Buffett concert in somebody's backyard.
So they can rent it as a way to gather a crowd and watch a movie on the side? Or watching an event on the side?
Correct.
So it's not just an advertising vehicle. It could be like kind of a party vehicle as well.
Definitely. I would say, depending on the personality of the franchisee, they could be 70% subscription advertising and 30% special events, community events, or maybe they want to do more community events and a little bit less advertising.
Now, you mentioned that you have been involved in dozens of other businesses throughout the year. Have you been involved in launching franchises before? Or is this your first franchise?
My first franchise.
Now, running a franchise is that's like a new business. Like, you thought Runningboards was a business, but managing franchisees is a different kind of business. How are you handling that?
Well, it's certainly been a learning curve. But I've been able to take my experience of I've had satellite offices around the world. So I'm used to managing men and equipment around the world. Mainly I was a government contractor. Airport runway maintenance is what I did. That's what I really know more than anything else. So I bring in what I know, and then I learn the rest. I've teamed up with some good advisors, some good attorneys, all franchise experts. And there's a lot of good people out there that have helped us. I couldn't imagine doing this on my own. In fact, I would have probably failed. Just putting together the model, we've got a great team. And then I handpicked my management team that works with me. And we're figuring it out. We're still learning, but we're figuring it out.
Have you kind of gotten a handle on what the ideal franchisee looks like?
Well, if I had to pick the ideal franchisee, I would somebody that's got a sales and marketing background of some sort. It seems like people are afraid of sales, but more importantly, afraid of selling advertising. But I also think, since I'm a true entrepreneur, I started my first business at age 18, sweeping parking lots, and my office was in my bedroom upstairs in my parents' house. Quickly expanded into becoming a full parking lot maintenance contractor before getting into highways and eventually finding mission airports. So I think we have the skill. If somebody wants to become an entrepreneur, wants to become a business owner, and has no experience, we definitely got the skill set to teach them how to become a business person, an entrepreneur. But it's going to be easier if they've got some sales experience for sure, I think.
Do they have to have like advertising sales experience or any type of sales experience?
Well, again, the advertising's a plus. Any kind of sales is a plus. But if they're totally green, it's just going to be a little slower ramp up. But we'll teach them everything they need to know. We'll be alongside them.
Now, and that's part of the beauty of working with the franchisor is that you're getting a lot of training and a lot of know-how of. They don't have to create the wheel. You've already kind of got a model that if they just follow the instructions, they should be successful.
Correct.
Now, you're targeting Atlanta. You mentioned you had done business here in the past. Is Atlanta a place where this is a one-day town, a 10-day town? How do you kind of divide up the market?
Well, your metro population is like 5.6 million. So it's a large area with a lot of great suburbs. In fact, I've been here all week and I haven't even been downtown yet. I hope I get down there this afternoon and some tomorrow before I leave. And that was always my goal, but you go where the opportunity is. Our base territory starts out with a minimum population of 125,000 people. And then we kind of round up and look at geographically at a map, whether it be the townships or a county or something, and we'll negotiate a territory or territories. So I don't think we're going to set up 44 territories in Atlanta, but the number could be 25 to 45, I suppose. But probably it'll settle in maybe 25 territories. We'll be generous on those portions, but we don't want to make them too big because you can't be everywhere. So concentrate on an area and geographic area and work that, and you'll be very successful.
Now, for you, are you looking for more individual entrepreneurs, or are you looking for somebody that wants to run like 5 or 10 markets at a time?
Either or works. I think in most cases it's easier for somebody. It's a very scalable business, so I would, in most cases, say start out with one and 50% booked. Let's get the second one up and running and just keep adding on that way rather than take delivery of 5 days all at once. That probably could be overwhelming. Not for everybody, but we can scale it pretty quick. We pre-build the trucks, so the trucks are ready to go. I can have somebody up and running a business pretty quick.
If you're just now joining us, you're listening to Franchise Marketing Radio. Our guest today is Calvin McNeely with Runningboards Marketing. Calvin, Stone Payton here. I got a question about marketing to, getting the word out to prospective franchisees. On the one hand, it seems to me like you've got the golden ticket, or what my nephew would call the shiznit, right? You've got Dave, right? So you have a marvelous way to promote what you're doing, but maybe you don't have Dave, or there's not a really practical way to get a Dave in Wichita, or San Jose. So how do you get the word out to people in other markets where you're not yet? Have you found any tools more effective than others in just sort of getting the word out about the opportunity so you can have a conversation with some of these prospective franchisees?
Well, we've definitely tapped into the the consultant and broker networks out there, and we're involved with 2 or 3 of them. And so we're tapping into that. We're trying to show and explain to the brokers as many as we can. I met with some brokers last night from Atlanta. Spent a couple hours with them, introduced them to Dave, and they have clients throughout the country. So tapping into that network, we're in some portals. We've got an advertising agency that helps us promote out of Chicago that's helping us. The No Limit agency that's actually got us online with you guys. And we've attended some franchise shows, but we just recently made the decision. I did, we're a mobile business. Let's go to the people. So I'll be on the road a lot this first quarter of the winter. I'll come back down to Atlanta, and then I'll probably head over to Charlotte and different parts of the Carolinas before I go to Nashville for a conference at the end of the month.
Now, is the strategy that you kind of pre-schedule meetings in these different markets, you bring the truck, and then hopefully you leave the truck and then get another truck and go to another market?
Well, the truck I'm driving around is kind of my demo truck, so I don't expect anyone's going to buy that truck. But I know people around the country where I can leave it. But we'll drive around, visit these markets. So we'll try and have an appointment or two, at least in every town we go to. But then we'll just drive around some. We spent some time driving around Monday and Tuesday, and we got some calls from that. Basically, we're on the screens. It says, you could own this business. You could own this truck. Franchise territories available. We'll rotate you several screens. And we also got a few calls to advertise. Can't help those people today, but got them on the list for a future franchisee.
And then, so at this stage, how many franchisees do you have out there?
Well, that's a good question. I have 0 franchisees out there. We are truly a brand new emerging brand. We have just started getting some commitments, and I expect we'll close 6 in the first quarter. But today we've awarded 0.
Now, do you do anything for veterans, or are there any groups that you support by making it easier to get in?
Certainly we do, and we come from a military town, the Fort Drum, which is home to the 10th Mountain Division, and we offer the standard discounts, 10% for veterans. And we've been working closely with the local base as people are transitioning out of the military to hopefully eventually somebody would be signing out. Maybe they're going to Wichita, Kansas, and they can do all the training and then take a day home with them. We've done some intern programs and training with the military there as well.
And then the only owned and operated store is the one in near Syracuse?
Well, Watertown, New York, and Syracuse, New York. Syracuse is about an hour away from us, a much bigger city. We got a little operation going there as well.
So what's the most rewarding part of this adventure for you?
Well, I think it's the fact that I didn't realize how much we'd be involved in the community. And before this business, my last business, I was always traveling. I was kind of a global work. And now I've come back from being a global traveler back to my community and working with all the different nonprofits and different agencies. That's been a lot of fun. Got to meet and really become pretty popular in the community. Everyone wants Dave at their event.
I'll bet.
And then just helping businesses grow, and not just from advertising, but also giving them, mentoring a few people and just kind of coaching them and help them with some of the challenges. And hopefully we'll take that right in there and help franchisees be successful. My whole team has a heart for helping people, a heart for giving.
And this is a great way to get back to kind of the nonprofits, because it's just, you have almost an infinite amount of inventory, right? Like you can just throw in a slide for an organization or a nonprofit pretty painlessly, I would imagine.
We can, and we do some of them for sponsor. We certainly get paid for some of the events, a little bit of everything. But we've become part of some of the events. Like United Way had Over the Edge this summer, where people are scaling down a 14-foot story building. And Dave was there on the ground, so then we put cameras on the roof, and people could come and watch their loved ones or whoever, friends, up on the roof, getting ready and going over the edge. So they got to be part of the event. And that was really exciting.
Now, is this something that, to do the technical part about getting images onto the vehicle, is that something the franchisee has to do, or is that something that you have software and technology that you handle that from the corporate?
Well, we have designed and built our own software. We own it. We build it here in the U.S., and it not only manages Dave, but it manages really the whole business. But they will have to, and we will teach them all this. It's not that complicated. We would teach them how to pull images off people's websites and social media to put on the truck, to go out and sell. And then when it gets more serious, a lot of people have their own stuff. They just have to adapt it a little bit for the truck, but we'll teach them everything they need to know. And eventually, when they get busy, they'll probably have their own graphics artists on staff. But until that point, we'll take care of all that for them up in New York.
And then is it the way that you get paid, is it you get a percentage of the revenue that's generated from the vehicle itself? So everything is going to kind of go through you, or is this kind of a flat fee for like a license for owning the vehicle?
Yeah, similar to most franchises, we get a royalty.
So then so if they have a nonprofit, they have the option to not charge that nonprofit, or everything has to be charged so that the money flows through you guys.
No, they have an option. They have an option not to charge that nonprofit, of course.
So then the franchisee can be as generous as they want to be, and you're okay with that?
Yes.
Wow. So this seems like a great way for that person that really wants to do good in their community and do well financially. It gives them really a nice way to serve. Do you find that?
I would totally agree. And we're about serving. You know, if you looked at my computer or jumped in my pickup truck, it says I get to serve, and it just reminds me that, you know, we always have the opportunity to serve other people. And
this is great for that first time franchisee. I would think that this is kind of not a hard sell kind of business. You just have to be out there in the community and be visible, and then if you do that enough, business should come your way.
I would agree with that. Really, everything you need for this business is on six wheels. It's almost a business in a box, a business on wheels. I think we've made it pretty as simple as we can make it.
Now, what do you need more of right now, Calvin?
What do I need more of?
How can we help you?
Well, just getting the word out. You know, I'll come to people. I'm flying back home tomorrow for the holidays, but I'll be back down probably January 20th. Spend a little more time here in Atlanta before I head over to Charlotte. Just like the opportunity to show Dave. We're pretty simple. It's not a high pressure business. We'll show you to Dave. I can explain everything in 1 to 2 hours, and for some, you know, just finding that one person that wants to take it on.
Well, if somebody wanted to learn more, is there a website for, I guess, Runningboards Marketing as a whole, but also separately for the franchise opportunity?
There sure is. And they can go to runningboardsmarketing.com, and there's a button there that will also take them to our franchise website. So they can get all the information, all our pricing. It's pretty detailed. And the franchise website, it's actually going through its second major update. Should be produced in about a week, but there's a lot of good information there.
Good stuff, Calvin. Thank you so much for sharing your story, and congratulations on all the success.
Thank you.
All right, this is Lee Cantor for Stone Payton. We will see you all next time on Franchise Marketing Radio.